What's going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, coming to you with the latest updates on what's going on with the Raider Nation onto the official free agency day one. Many people thought it happened 3 days ago, but that's not truthful. That was the legal tampering period where all the information started to leak, and they had a pre-party before the actual party. And we got a lot of information. Please do me a favor. If you like anything that I do, which is basically talk all the time, please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of this channel to buy me a taco or two, and hopefully more exclusive content in the future. But I deal with many mental, physical, health issues, and I'm just a train wreck sometimes, so I have to go to sleep and disappear from the world. I hope y'all understand. But when I wake up and I feel pretty decent, I want to talk some damn Raiders. That's why it says it on the shirt, because I am the guru, the OG, whatever y'all want to call me. Hopefully it's not a loser. But whatever. All silly jokes aside, the Raiders are doing some good things this free agency. And just to quickly recap on the previous videos that I made, we added Gardner Minshew on a 2-year, $25 million deal. I typically thought it was like $25 million a year, but I read it wrong. There's a lot of numbers going on, but he's getting $12.5 per year, and we saved $25 million by releasing Garoppolo, and we're going to talk about the releases in a minute because we got a big one to talk about today. For Raider Nation lore. But we signed Gardner Minshew, and he's a semi-mobile quarterback that can get it done and improvise. And he will fit this scheme. And the scheme, I don't know what the scheme is. He'll fit this team well because we have a lot of characters. And that kind of reminds me of the old school Raiders. You got a cringe character, you got a rebel, you got a bad boy, you got a quiet, Christian person. It's like the 70s, and that's what we want. We don't want everybody to be the same square peg in a round hole. You know what I mean? We don't want that. We want all different shapes and sizes and colors, and you understand what I'm saying. But Gardner Minshew, he's a good backup. He's a good quality backup. I've always wanted a backup like Ryan Fitzpatrick that can come in and win us games. Gardner Minshew can do it. He technically is not a starter. That's why teams keep letting him go, because he kind of falters back into himself. But there is a scenario that we talked about where he is the day one starter for the Raiders. We can go through that. You guys can watch that in the other video about Gardner Minshew. Then the Raiders also went out and picked up Christian Wilkins, a defensive tackle, one of the best defensive tackles on the market, at least top 5, but he was rated the 77th top 100 player last year, and he doesn't get a lot of fame and fortune like a Chris Jones or an Aaron Donald, but he is just as dominant in many situations. He had his best year in sack total last year with 9 or 10, I believe it was, but it was a contract year, and he definitely got his money. The Raiders gave him a 4-year, $110 million deal with $85 million guaranteed. That is a lot of money. But that just shows you where our team is going on the defensive side of the ball and what Aaron Pierce and Patrick Graham want for this defense. I mean, let's be honest. They're now going to be the Yin-Yang brothers. Yin-Yang. Yin-Yang. Part of the Raiders defensive line gang, Yin-Yang. Sorry, that's my little song that I do. Watch the other Christian Wilkins video where I rap. You guys like my rapping? But we got our guy. They went all in on Christian Wilkins, whether you could have got him cheaper or not. They went out. They wanted him. They probably wanted Chris Jones and other players like that, but they were not willing to pay $35 million a year. So they had to up the rate to, $27 a year for Christian Wilkinson, or Wilkins. I keep saying Wilkinson. And they got their guy. So whether it's a good pick or not, it is. It will help our team. Did we overpay? Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you gotta. But I think he'll fit in very, very well with this team. He's a humble man, he's a very passionate man, and he's a trash talker like Max Crosby as well when he's on the field. When he's off the field, he's a family man. He's a humble dude, an empathetic dude. I freaking love Wilkins. So many names in my head. And I like that. So I really, really like that. We lost a couple of players on the offensive side of the ball. Jermaine Illuminaire. We re-signed Andre James, the center. Amir Abdullah is coming back to the Raiders, I believe, on the contract. And so, yeah, those are the additions that I know of so far. I'm sure there's smaller additions that I haven't really read into as of lately because I only get online to study or get the information sometimes like about an hour a day lately. But with every addition, we have to have a loss. And I quickly spoke about a couple of those losses. But today, officially, we are losing Hunter Renfrow. He was going to cover about $12 million on the salary cap this year. And he is definitely, according to all reports, will be officially released, or he already has been as of right now. And we all saw the writing on the wall. Let's be honest. We saw the writing on the wall with Hunter Renfrow. And a lot of people are having questions because we saw a lot of good from him. Then all of a sudden it disappeared the minute Josh McDaniels became our head coach. And you would have thought that Josh McDaniels would have made him a Julian Edelman type player, all of the Patriot way. But Hunter Renfrow got lost and disappeared. He had some major injuries, I will give him that. But for whatever reason, it just did not come back to fruition. And Murph, in a recent Twitter question, mentioned, everybody else got better when Josh McDaniels left, and Hunter Renfrow seemed to have not gotten better. Why is that? Well, did everybody get better on the offensive side of the ball? Maybe, maybe not. Definitely on the defensive side of the ball. But on the offensive side of the ball, we were able to win some games and have more passion and pride. But did we really get better in the bigger sense of the word on offense? Did Devontae get much better? I don't know. Did Aiden O'Connell get much better? A little bit. So they were asking, why was Hunter Renfrow missing after Josh McDaniels was off the team? Well, just looking at it, let's be honest. I mean, tough words for truthful situations. Hunter Renfrow may not be that good anymore. After injuries and whatever else mentally has happened to him, or whatever, I do not know. Maybe he's just not as good as he once was being a featured player in our team, especially when Josh McDaniels became our coach. But that being said, he is still a commodity and he is still a weapon that can be used. They just got to use him properly. He may not have all the energy, with his body and his health as he did before McDaniels came in under Gruden, but he's still a weapon. But the Raiders are moving on from Hunter Renfrow. He is a fan favorite, the little cringe wide receiver that we had. I always wanted him to get bigger and better and faster and stronger, add weight and stuff like that. And he never seemed to do that. So there was a little bit of judgment saying he wasn't as physically dominant as he could have been, a la Julie Edelman or Wes Welker, those type of players. He could have added girth, but it didn't seem like it came to fruition. But he's still a sneaky little SOB. So now he has been released. We're saving $12 million on the cap for him. And we're also releasing Garoppolo, I'm sure as well, per the PED. I think we can officially get out of his contract legally from the PED stuff or whatever might have happened. Again, that's a conspiracy for another day to talk about what really happened. To get out of the contract legally. But Hunter Renfrow, he's going to be available, and I hope him better days. I really like the kid, or the man. I like the man, and I really wish he would have a home on this team, and they could have found a home for him. But at $12 million for, let's be honest, the way he has been producing, even in a bad Josh McDaniels scheme, we can move on from him. It sucks because we all liked him, but we can move on from him. And the reason why he didn't get really better, even after Josh McDaniels was fired, again, it was still Josh McDaniels' scheme with that quarterback offensive coordinator that we had, the quarterback coach that became offensive coordinator. So the scheme still didn't really feature Hunter Renfrow. He was always the third guy. And then on top of that, if you're Aiden O'Connell being the rookie quarterback, you know, why did Hunter excel or do better? Well, if you're Aiden O'Connell, who are you throwing the ball to? The Beast and Devontae Adams, or the little white boy and Hunter Renfrow to try to become the starting quarterback of the Raiders? You're going to throw it to Devontae and the other guy. Just facts. So Hunter Renfrow might be a New Orleans Saint. That's my prediction. I believe he'll fit in well with the Saints, with Derek Carr, so he'll have a friend on the team as well. Foster Moreau is there, and he can make it work. He can be a little sneaky SOB for the New Orleans Saints when they got those deep threats in New Orleans. He can be a better Michael Thomas, and he won't even trash talk like Michael Thomas. So I see that being a fit for Hunter Renfrow. But who knows if the Saints are even going to be interested. They don't have a lot of money on their cap. Hunter's going to want at least $5 to $8 million on a 1-year, 2-year deal to try to prove himself. He might have to take like a $4 or $5 million deal for 1 year with any team to prove himself again. And is he still a wide receiver, technically number 3? I don't know. That's on anybody's list. But there's that situation that we wanted to talk about. Good luck, Hunter. We miss you. Once a Raider, always a Raider. We appreciate you. But now you're no longer the hunter. For us, when we play you, you are the prey. Now, let's get into the conspiracy or the theories about Justin Fields. Apparently, his value has dropped. Justin Fields, early on in the free agency process, all the thinking is that Justin Fields will no longer be a Chicago Bear. He still has 1 year left, and they did not pick up his option. So he's got 1 year left, and they didn't pick up his option, so they can easily release him. And he's requiring, I think it's like $15 million this year, and his stock has dropped. Chicago has the first or second pick in the draft. Rumors are they're going to go after a quarterback, probably Caleb Williams, because you'd have to give Justin Fields a secondary contract, you know, since they didn't pick up his option. And if they franchise tag him, what, it's $20, $30 million, whatever the case may be. I don't know the legal ramifications. But all people are saying that Justin Fields is no longer going to be a Bear. So now they're taking calls and probably shopping him, or whatever the word is. I still remember that, Murph. You say, oh, you know, no players shop other players. Well, they do accept phone calls. So, you know, they say, hey, what do you give me? What are you offering? We're not shopping him, but what are you offering? But Justin Fields, you think if they were really going to release him or get rid of him, it would have happened in the legal tampering period of the 2 days that we just had before. And it didn't. His value has dropped. They were saying that you would have had to give up a first-round pick for him, a second round. Basically, they were saying you have to give a second or a third rounder for him. And now the value has dropped. He's probably in the 4th round range, where you have to give up a 4th rounder to get Justin Fields. But then you're also going to have to give him a new contract. And those are the stipulations that come with signing Justin Fields. So, are the Raiders interested? I wrote a Twitter post that I believe they are. You have to be. You have to be interested in Justin Fields. You had to have been interested in Russell Wilson. They didn't ultimately make that decision, but you have to be interested. You have to explore all options. So people calling me a moron for making this statement, you're the moron. You have to be interested. All options have to be on the table. You never know what's going to happen in the draft. You never know what's going to happen to any player if their value drops Like, again, if Justin Fields' value has now dropped from a second or third round pick to a fourth round or a fifth round pick that you have to give up to get him, well, he's a former first rounder. Okay? And he played pretty good with DJ Moore. Could you imagine the type of passes that he threw to DJ Moore, to Devontae Adams? I can. A lot of my friends had DJ Moore on their fantasy teams. I didn't, and they whooped my ass with Justin Fields and DJ Moore. He can play. He's a decent quarterback. Had you put it all together? No. Will he reunite with Luke Getsy? I don't know. But is it worth it for them to have already connected together, whether they have little problems or not, that they can squash it? They know each other. Now maybe Luke Getsy gets a second chance of being the coordinator for Justin Fields, and they can make it work together as a tandem on a new team. Because he has to build a new offensive scheme anyway, but we know he likes to run the ball. But still, they know each other. And if you can get Justin Fields for a fourth round pick or a fifth round pick to get a former first round drafted quarterback, even for 1 year, you have to look at that opportunity. You have to. We've solidified our backup quarterback position right now with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. And if we can bring on, again, if we have to trade up in the first round to get a Jaden Daniels or somebody like that, there's still no guarantee we'll get that player. Then there's still no guarantee of how much we have to give up. 3 first rounders and a player, 2 first rounders and a couple of seconds to move up to the top 4 or 5 spots. That's a big haul to give up for a first round quarterback that still has no guarantee that they're going to play great and be the future franchise quarterback. That's a big haul. I want that to happen. I do. I want the Raiders to just go out there and do it and get it done for the first time in so many years, where we go out there just like they did with Christian Wilkins. We go out there, we trade everything, we go all in, and we get our guy. It might not work out, but at least we took that chance at a moment of need for a future franchise quarterback. I want that to happen, but I'm scared shitless that we're going to get a bust quarterback. There's probably only a 1 in 5 chance that you get the next CJ Stroud, or that you get, there's probably a 1 in 100 chance that you get anything close to the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Lamar Jackson. It's a big gamble. And you got to recognize that that's a gamble. That's why the Justin Fields situation is interesting. Some former quarterbacks sit or play for a couple of years, then all of a sudden in their 5th year, they start getting better. And Justin Fields had a pretty decent last year. And if we can get him for a 4th rounder, we actually get a first round quarterback, and we could probably sign him on a 2-year deal. Same thing as Gardner Minshew, for probably $15 to $30 million a year. Maybe $15 million a year on a prove-it deal. So that would mean that we got a first-round quarterback for a 4th or 5th round draft pick. We didn't have to sell the farm. And we got a project that has worked with Luke Getsy and did get better as the season went along. And maybe they can blend together and figure it all out on a new team. Then we get a quarterback for $15 million a year. A 2-year deal, $30 million, $20 million guaranteed, whatever the case may be. So now we have 3 quarterbacks on our roster. We have a second-year player in Aiden O'Connell, who might get better, that we know can, do decent things. Then we got Gardner Minshew for, $12.5 million a year. Then we get another quarterback, a possible first-rounder in Justin Fields, for $15 million a year. And then, therefore, our entire quarterback room is taking up $30 million, $28 million. And we got a first-round pick, a great veteran backup, and then a promising young player. That's a nice quarterback room. And Justin Fields, if he came to the Raiders, He could be a bridge quarterback. Him and Gardner can be a bridge quarterback for if we don't win a lot in the next year or two. Then next year we have the 3rd pick in the draft. I don't want that to happen. Of course I do. But then Justin Fields and Gardner Minshew, we have them on the team for a year or two. Then we can draft that really early drafted quarterback because we didn't play so well in the season. And then now we have our foundational quarterback, our defense that's playing really well, and all that. But in my opinion, I would look at Justin Fields. I would look at him because I don't believe we're going to be able to. I don't think we want to truly give up the entire farm to get a quarterback in the draft. Then, even if we give up the entire farm, we still might not even get the top person that we want. So it's a huge gamble. The Justin Fields gamble, in my opinion, is a little more valuable than giving up everything to get a Jaden Daniels and still might not get him. And there's no proof that he is going to be as good of a quarterback as even Justin Fields is as of this moment. There's no guarantee any of the young drafted quarterbacks this year are going to be as good as Justin Fields is in his 4th year. And people say he's not even good at all. That's your judgment. I like Justin Fields to the Raiders. I could see that working. Is that what I truly want? No, of course not. I want the Raiders to draft a quarterback. I want them to go all in. And I want to get a 1st-round quarterback that's one of the top 3. And I'm hoping for a Patrick Mahomes, a C.J. Stroud, a Lamar Jackson. That's what I want. But you know what? When you're building a team, if you get an opportunity at a quarterback that could be just as good as a Derek Carr or whatever for $15 million for a couple of years and to have the entire quarterback room for like $30 million, then you can spend that money elsewhere like they went out and spent on Christian Wilkins. You're able to spend on other key situations to make your team better. And the proof is in the pudding. The Raiders are trying to be a defensive team because they don't know our quarterback situation and they're not putting the onus on our quarterback to win every game. And they're not putting the onus on our offense to score so many points. Because they recognize what we had last year. And now we got a new coordinator, possibly a new rookie quarterback. That's why they went out and got a veteran in Gardner Minshew. And that's why you have to look at Justin Fields to be on the Raiders. Because even though he was on the Bears, they at least scored 14 to 20 points a game. Sometimes that might have been more than Aiden O'Connell scored with the Raiders last year. And then if our defense can do what they did last year or stay close to it, we're going to win some games. No matter who's the quarterback, a rookie or Justin Fields or Gardner Minshew. Just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please let me know some subjects you guys would like me to talk about on the next video. And hopefully I get a live stream for you guys this week. But I've been feeling some sort of way every day. Major health issues going on right now. Doctor's appointments, sleeping, blah, blah, blah. But I love you guys. Please know that. And I'm a Raider fan till the end. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay Raider. And I'll see you on the next video.